Hi guys, welcome back for another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob and today I'm going to attempt to take this Matchbox series number 53 Ford Zodiac Mark IV from shabby to shiny. So we'll start taking out the rivet, we'll drill down the centre of the post, remove the flange and tap the hole using my very handy vise. Now here's the car kind of in the thumbnail and on my swirly little board, and I had every intention to restore this car, and during kind of taking the photographs, taking that initial section, I wondered whether this will probably be best suited for my upcoming Mad Max series. Now I've got 4 of these cars. You've seen them probably be unboxed in some previous videos, and this is, I would say, the second worst. So actually we're gonna take this car today and we're going to custom restore this one. I'm going to leave that kind of really shabby one to one side, but underneath it reads made in England by Lesney, Matchbox series number 53 Ford Zodiac Mark IV. So this is one that I've pre-drilled. Take the base off there, nice and simple. Got the wheel retaining piece, the interior, quite a nice little detail. Those seats look super comfy, and this is kind of the most exciting part of this car, just the engine piece there, still with the spare wheel. You know, both the wheel and the engine there look brand new, and the glass here just pops out, no drilling required, and as good as the day that it was made. I think there's one minor little scratch in it, but hey, I can live with that. Now the bonnet is not one to easily be removed, so I shall be keeping it in position throughout paint strip and then repaint. So we go with my tried and tested caustic soda method. Make sure you've got all your kind of gloves and goggles and your ventilation also. But after a couple of minutes the paint didn't put up any fight, and here we are with not a single spot in place other than obviously covered in now oxidization. So I'm going to remove that with my wire tool there and my fake Dremel, and to be honest it looks as good as new, right? I also took the opportunity whilst I had it out to polish up the base, which looks good. Quite happy with that, and kind of on the wheels I just do a bit of a black wash with this Citadel Nuln oil. Put that to one side to dry, and back to the actual casting here. I'm going to use a grey surface primer, and this is going to also be the eventual colour. I don't even know what colour this is, because what it should be is this, kind of like a burnt orange, but this is more of a baby poo. I think that might be the colour name, baby poo. I'm going to paint it in baby poo, everyone. So I'll go with my single coat of primer. I start from kind of trying to tackle the inside from underneath, and then just cover it. Nice, quick, easy, simple. The bonnet, a little bit difficult to make sure that you're kind of covering, but at the same time not getting too much paint. I think the tolerances are very, very small on the bonnet. A little bit too much paint, that sucker's not going to close. Once it'd been put aside for half an hour or so to dry, I've gone with my a 50-50 mix of thinner, and this stuff was coming out just an absolute beaut. I always find these enamel paints just come out so nice. Now, bearing in mind the lid was obviously wrong. I didn't know whether this was going to be a matte finish, a satin finish, a gloss finish. It was pretty evident very quick that this was going to be a matte finish, which was not what I wanted. But, you know, I knew at the same time I could rectify that with some lacquer over the top. So I'm just putting on the first coat, a thin coat. Eventually I covered it in probably 4 coats. Normally I just keep going until I've run all the paint out in the airbrush. And here it is after it's fully dry, and indeed a very matte finish. And I've still been trying to figure out how to really use this clear lacquer, and I think I've figured it out now. Just these little short blasts, which seem to really pit, and then I kind of want to throw it out the window, but I just kept on going, adding a bit more, a bit more, a bit more, and eventually I added so much that it all went into a uniform gloss finish, as you can see here. Absolutely beautiful. So that is the way to do it. Whilst that's drying to one side, we take our attention to the plastics here. So after a bit of a soapy bath, the windscreen here just goes into my little vat of pledge, tap it off, put that to one side. This stuff's an absolute dream, couldn't live without it. And the interior is a bit bland on this one, a bit boring, so what I'll do is I'll first of all cover it in that brown matte. And whilst that was drying, kind of made a bit of attention to the base. I googled the pictures of the car, and you know, that whole red section across the back seemed to be what it was, so I just done the best I could. Now this chrome engine to me was a little bit overboard, so I painted in some areas black, kind of dotted in a few areas in red, and feel like that's a bit more realistic. Now here's the screen, nice and dry. Put that to one side. We are skipping through this nice and fast, aren't we? So go with a null oil there, make it look all realistic, and then after it's dry, after everything is dry, this is the interior. It looks, to me, it looks real. It's got some depth and character. The windshield there looks brand new. We got the base, the wheels, perfect, nicely painted in front lights, front indicators, lights, rear indicators, rear number plate. The engine piece there, as we've seen. So that is a true wheel, and it does just sit in there, so I'm surprised it's still there. But again, looks nice and a bit more realistic, I feel. And this just had a little wash. Casting itself now, I've painted in the door handles and a little kind of grill, side grill on this, you know. But yeah, it's dried, and you can see well, you should be able to see the gloss on the outside, and the matte in the inside. But this is kind of where we started. You know, we switched cars, but this is how she come out. I think this is now in my top 5 cars. It's a disgusting colour, and I love it. Looking at it now, yeah, I think if anything come out of you this colour, there's something wrong with you. You are probably ill. But it's beautiful, absolute beautiful. Anyway, I want to take this opportunity to thank my Patreons, Wills and Things, Bearded Outcast, and a new member, Nick's Toy Garage. Check out his channel. But then thank you guys for watching, of course, and I'll see you on the next one.